Well, folks, welcome to another edition of Rimshots with Sean, brought to you by Barstools and Bandtalk. We have a treat for you guys tonight. You're going to recognize this guy. We have Mr. Mark Kendall from Great White. Sir, how are you tonight?
How you doing, Sean?
I'm great. So, look, I want to start by reading a presser that was sent to me, and I just want to get your first impressions. So it says, for a band to continue to thrive for 40 years in the music business, their mantra must be, these songs are bigger than any one member. So I'm reading that, and my first thing is, that's anybody doesn't pull their weight, they could find themselves out.
Well, we are like a brotherhood. We've always, we're like AC/DC. Every time you see us, we're together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if one guy is kind of falling away or something, it makes the whole team kind of go funny. So, but as far as the songs being bigger than any one band member, I don't know if I totally agree with that, but I don't know. If some guy doesn't want to be a team player and just kind of wants to, kind of go off on his own or something, if the vibe isn't right, it just kind of ruins it for everybody. So I don't know what else to say about that.
Well, I mean, so this was a May 31st, and it was you guys naming Mark Freeman coming in, Andrew Freeman coming in as your new singer.
Yeah.
People know Andrew from Last in Line. He played with George Lynch. I think it threw all of us a little bit first. I'm one of those guys that kind of goes on the internet and sees what's up, and I saw that, and I was like, whoa, that was just kind of out of left field. But for you guys, maybe it was in the works for a while.
Not necessarily, definitely not by design. It seems like everything that happens to us, it's some freak thing happens. But what happened is he sat in. We played with Foreigner up north in California, and our singer at the time had to cancel the gig to go do a Van Halen tribute show, and so we got Andrew to fill in for that gig, and we didn't rehearse or anything. We in a hotel room, we went over the songs, and he kind of learned them at home, and he blew our minds. He just sang the song so perfect in that short amount of time that we wanted to know if he was available, because we really liked his vibe. I could read him pretty good right away that he wasn't into any kind of weird head trips or ego or anything like that. He was just straightforward. He engaged the crowd really good, and it seemed totally natural. For a guy going out and singing with Great White for the first time ever, and we don't even rehearse, and he's getting the crowd up on their feet, and and also not just doing that, but just not scripted, just rapping to the crowd. You might pick a guy, hey dude, what's up? You know what I mean? It's like so it wasn't just that arena rap. It was kind of just natural, and I really liked that too. I liked the way he was on stage. So when he told us he's available, we went and rehearsed for a couple of days in Vegas, and he blew our minds again. He goes, hey, do you guys still do Stick It? And I go, how would you, because he's younger than us, a little bit. I go, how do you know Stick It? And he's like, oh, when I was 13, me and my buddy, we used to get these songs on Metal Shop, and that one was always in the loop. I go, okay, let's do Stick It. So we launched in, did Stick It. He sings it perfect, So it was kind of cool to see all the different sides to his voice, that he's not just, obviously Last in Line is straight ahead kind of metal delivery, but he has some different sides to his voice that I really like. And so for us to be able to play Stick It, him hit all the notes and actually not ditch any notes in our other songs either. And a lot of them are kind of geared in a higher range. It's difficult to sing these songs, some of them. But he handles it all, and he's really prepared, real professional in that sense too.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned, and singers can be a funny breed. The old LSD, lead singer disease. You know it, I know it. I'm a musician myself. Sometimes it's
Right,
tough
right.
for a singer to come in. That's not easy material to tackle, right? I mean, it's just not anybody can do it. There's got to be the vocal vibe, but there's got to be the vibe that your audience that's been around for so long is going to accept. I saw some of the video of you guys playing. It seems like it's just going tickety boo.
Yeah. And the vibe within the band, everybody's like, I don't know, just at ease and just enjoying ourselves, these days, if somebody has some big ego or I told this one journalist, I'm like, it'd be like you go to a party and you see cocaine, you see blow, like on the table, and you're going, they still have that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, that's how I feel. If somebody has a big ego, I'm going, they still do that. You know what I mean? It's like, at our age, we're going to have a big ego and some, have some kind of head trip or something. I just don't get it. But, I just like to go out and play hard and play our hearts out and leave all the weird stuff away.
No question. And I mean, you've been asked at nauseum about, former singers and what happened. And I mean, I think that's kind of been done to death. You don't need to revisit that. As I'm pouring through some of the interviews, an interview that I have, or a piece that I haven't seen, is about you personally, and where you see yourself sort of in the genre in terms of guitar players. I mean, you came up through the whole, shredder thing. Then there was a blues thing. Then the '90s. I mean, I don't know for you, the '90s to me were. I don't love that music. That's just me. I'm a Hair Nation guy. I always have been. Where do you see your legacy in terms of where all those other players are?
I've kind of told the story before, but I think it's worth going over a period of when I was 14, almost 15, and kind of learning my way around the neck to where I could actually go out and play in front of people and it wasn't totally horrible. And when I discovered Carlos Santana, for some reason, just the way he squeezed notes, how melodic he played and everything, I sort of, at that age, before I discovered Johnny Winter, Alvin Lee, or anybody, I wanted to be Carlos Santana, I swear to God, because I liked it that he incorporated so much like jazz. It's like, okay, they do this rad solo, but they also go back to the melodies and it's something memorable, but they might squeeze a note and just hold it for a minute or, whatever they're feeling, but they always go back to this kind of theme. He was kind of a theme-ish player. And my thinking has always been, if a singer can have all these memorable melodies, why can't I do that on guitar? So, maybe in 5 years when people remember that solo, but there's also kind of I still like to use dynamics as far as, show some speed, but and stuff like that, but do it in the right spots. Don't do it all the time. And I've always said that I appreciate the skills these guys have, these shredders. I couldn't do it. There's no way I could, these guys, I would just consider them better than me technically, but when I write a song, I want, my thinking is more like, what can I do to make this song the best it could possibly be? And it usually, besides having a good chorus and whatnot, I like to do a solo that you can remember, that maybe even one day, a 15-year-old up and comer can play, but it's like, I really can't envision any other solo from Stairway to Heaven, even though this is probably a bad example, but when you hear that solo, it's like you can hum it. It's kind of badass. I mean, it's just a cool solo, So that's challenging to come up with something that's not too simple, but that just sounds sweet, you know. And it really depends on what the song is. I used to be like the Flight of the Bumblebee guy when I was like 17, you know, me and Dave Mustaine, it was like, you know, Dave is a little bit younger than me, but he went to high school with my brother. He tells my brother, I'm so much faster than him. I'm so much faster than your brother, because we always thought the fastest guy was the best guy, you know?
Yeah.
That's just that teenage thinking, you know?
I remember, I don't know if you remember Greg Chason, the bass player from Badlands.
Oh yeah.
Greg used to have I had him on the show. He had a great line I heard 20 some odd years ago. And he said it when I interviewed him. He talked about putting 10 pounds of bologna in a 2-pound bag.
Exactly. I know. Well, that's what I mean. It's like, to me, it reminds me of a singer that either sings high all the time, never goes lower, just the highest note he could possibly sing the whole song, you know, leaving himself nowhere to go, or a singer that sings riffs all the time, but they're not placed in the right spots. It's just out of habit. They're doing the Paul Rogers lick. Like, it's like the way people sing the Star Spangled Banner and they decide to add all these riffs to it. You know, like in South Park or whatever, they do that real exaggerated version. The whole audience, everybody in the stadium sleeping. But so I just think, you know, I'm kind of like, if song's not right or vocals not right, it drives me crazy. I gotta fix it. I need it right, you know. Don't put that line there, you know. That's the only time we ever get in arguments within the band, is fighting over the song.
Right.
You know,
and I mean,
we don't get into dumb arguments.
I'm going to guess after what you just said, you're a song first guy. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. You know, I'm kind of a song person in general. You know, I mean, I grew up, you know, listening to Hendrix, Cream, The Doors. You know, they're all killer songwriters. I mean, you know, Deep Purple, Machine Head. I mean, it's driving, but the songs are tasteful. I mean, written like perfect. So, you know, I want to be a good songwriter. I want songs that are going to, you know, hold up and not just have everything predictable and, oh, here comes the chorus, and you can even tell me what the lyrics are going to be before it happens. You know what I mean? So that's the challenge for me today, is play things that I've never played, but have it be tasteful, you know, come up with, you know, kind of, right now I'm writing like I just sent a couple songs to Andrew, and he goes, dude, that's Thin Lizzy meets UFO, bro. You know, so it's like, you know, I'm kind of the way I'm writing now, you know, kind of riff orientated, you know, but cool, unpredictable, non-145 stuff, you know, like, instead of going to the 4, I'll hang on the 1 longer. You know, it's almost like the way R&B people used to write a long time ago. Like, they would, instead of changing keys when you think it's supposed to go to the 4 or whatever, they don't change. They just hang there, but they put layers on that, or they change the way the vocal is, or, you know, add an instrument or whatever. I'm not totally writing like that, but that's what I mean. I'm trying to not be predictable, but also be tasteful. It's kind of challenging, you know.
So
do that.
There's definite plans then with this new configuration of Great White to get something out there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I'm totally inspired. I mean, this guy sings like Satan. I mean, I want to put something out, man. I want to go do a video. I want to have a song, you know. And I still haven't heard his voice with my guitar on a new song. I just sent him a bunch of, you know, he has, I think, two songs right now, and he hasn't written anything, but he sings from home. All the lesson line stuff you've heard, that's all done at his house. Sure. So you just send him MP3s, and he writes lyrics, vocal melodies, nobody there, nobody producing him. He just comes back, oh, here's the song. Okay, put it out. You know what I mean? So he has good song sense. I really believe that Andrew is a music person. You know, he likes driving stuff, you know, but he can sing anything. And he's a real cool dude. He's like a good dad. He takes his son around to like the Yankee game, flew to Houston, go to another baseball game. You know what I mean? So he's a well-rounded, good guy.
So I'm going to wrap segment 1. I want to come up to segment 2 shortly. You mentioned baseball. I understand you're a baseball fan. So I want to shift gears for a couple of minutes, but we'll be back after this.